Hello, world. My name is Shanae, and this is the Business and Travel Accountability Club. Today, I am here with Jasmine from the Jazzy Nation, and we are hosting a session called Putting in the Work. This is a 2024 goal setting session. So, we're going to be taking action throughout this hour and really thinking about brainstorming, planning out our goals for 2024 and not the whole year, because that would be overwhelming, but we're really going to focus on the first quarter of 2024. So we're going to set some high level goals, and then we'll go into some details on how we're going to achieve those goals today. And before we get started, let's hear from Jasmine so we can learn a bit about her platform, and her background.
Sure. Hi, Shanae. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm really excited to share the stage with you again. I feel like we've done this a couple times before, so we're like pros at just hanging out and just making things better within our businesses. So yes, I am Jasmine. I'm the founder of the Jazzy Nation. You can find me at the Jazzy Nation everywhere. I am a passionate traveler who has lived in India, Morocco. I'm now in Ecuador, and we're moving to a new country very soon, which I'm really excited about. But I've been in this lifestyle for about 6+ years. And as the founder of Jazzy Nation, I have a YouTube channel and I'm all over the internet. And I love writing articles and mostly producing videos. So that is my sweet spot right there. And so I'm really excited to kind of flesh out my goals for these different content areas that I focus on, because I really want to reach more people in 2024 and just make a really big impact with my business as well. With what I do as well, I offer travel and expat life consultations. And yeah, I mean, I'm really just here for all of you out there and, just wanting to give you the best through my experiences so that you can also have great experiences too. So yeah, I'm excited to get started with today's presentation. Well, it's like a presentation, and like you said, Shanae, a working workshop. So I'll just share a little bit about goal setting today, and then we'll get straight into the presentation, or the activity, I should say, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about the exercise because I did the exercise in preparation for the workshop, and it really has helped me to think a little bit more specific and
Mm.
also clarify the different parts of business and travel and my personal brand. So today is a working session. It's all about all of us taking a look at our individual platforms, our individual businesses, and really
Yes.
to say, what do I want to accomplish in this first part of 2024?
Mhm. I
So
like that.
it's going to be more of a high level because we're not going to be able to cover everything in an hour, but it's really to help you get started in creating that framework so that you can create a system that's going to help you with whatever your goals are for this upcoming year.
Perfect. That sounds fantastic.
Yes, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going
Okay.
to share a little bit more about myself when we go into the exercise part, because it's going to be a part of the exercise. Just
Okay.
to understand who I am, what my thought process is around business and travel and my personal brand. So I'll go into that a little bit later.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, so let's go to the first slide, and we're going to talk about what is goal setting. And I think that sometimes we can come into a workshop like this and already kind of have an idea of what we're doing. But just as a refresher, the definition for goal setting is it involves defining specific, measurable, and achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives that an individual, so like yourself, or a business like all of us that we have, that we aim to achieve. And so these are all known as SMART goals, which I feel like are more realistic and achievable. So instead of just saying like, I want to, earn $1 million, it's like, okay, how, by when, what are some of the steps to take place? I mean, that's a really big goal, but You never can, you can't say that it can't come true, right? But you have to have a plan and put that plan into practice. And so that is the purpose of a workshop like this, so that we can really get clear as to what we want, but how we can get to what we want. And again, that importance is going to come in that direction, the clarity and the motivation. So these goals that you're going to create today are going to today, and of course, you're going to continue on with the planning after this too. But they're going to serve as a roadmap to help you prioritize those actions, and of course, allocate those resources effectively. So you know exactly what you're doing, right? That's important. And of course, for my little portion, if you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know. I want this to be like a little open discussion, so that ideas can flow, and that will also help in the planning process when we get to Sinead's portion of the activity. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide, and we'll talk about why you, as a business owner, why you should set goals at the beginning of the year and also quarterly. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be working on quarterly goals. But as you, review your notes from today, it'll be important for you to remember what we talked about and implement some of these strategies to kind of, map out the rest of your year, if that is something that you're interested in, if you like to plan long term. And so in terms of long-term vision planning, goal setting yearly goals helps align with your overall vision and the mission of your business. And so if you know what you want to achieve in a year, for example, you can set smaller goals to achieve that bigger goal. But it's really important for my mind to kind of work backwards, so you have that bigger goal and you're like, okay, this is it, and these are the steps I need to take to make it to that bigger goal, which can be at the end of the year or could be even quarterly as well. So what are those smaller goals that'll help you reach that larger goal that you have? Something I love about these quarterly goals is that you can be adaptable. Your business is more adaptable as well, because quarterly goals allows for adjustment based on the changing market conditions, feedback that you might receive from customers or your audience, and then performance. So for me in my industry, especially as a video content creator, I'm constantly looking at the feedback that I'm receiving from my audience, as well as the performance of certain videos. So if I think about, okay, I'm going to have this topic that I want to talk about, but I'm noticing that the topic isn't really resonating with my audience, having smaller quarterly goals will allow me to adjust. And it's important to be adaptable, so that once the adjustment phases do happen, you're not disappointed. You just know it's a part of the process of what you're doing. So that's how I like to think about it. And then you want to look at it as motivation and focus as well. So regular goal setting will help keep you and your team, if you have a team, it'll help keep you all motivated and focused on achieving short-term milestones, and again, contributing to those larger objectives that you might have as well. So don't think about it as like this big picture thing, because I feel like that can be overwhelming sometimes. Definitely think about it in terms of breaking up those goals, breaking up those tasks to get to that bigger picture at the end. So let's discuss the next slide, which is what strategies and tactics can you as a content creator and or a business owner, and I would say if you're a content creator, look at yourself as a business owner as well. But what tactics and strategies can you create from the initial process of goal setting? So I have here that the first thing you can do is strategize, and you do this by evaluating the market for your topic or niche. This comes into play when you're identifying trends and you're understanding your customers' needs or your audience's needs to inform your content and also your business strategies. So you can also analyze strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I know that sounds really harsh, but it's true. Threats within your industry. What is going to keep you from improving and moving forward? And you can use these strategies to help you leverage different strengths and address weaknesses that you might have. So it's good to kind of put that lens onto your business and actually be realistic and think like, okay, you know, these are things that I'm really doing well, or my business is really doing well with, but these are things that are kind of weaknesses. And do we keep going with what's not serving us and adjust, or can we kind of start fresh? And that's why I like goal setting, especially at the beginning of the year, because you can really decide like, okay, like I might have to start fresh, and that's okay. I at least have a year to figure this out. You can also develop a content calendar, and I say in advance, because you know you want to make sure you have a plan. And we talked about being adaptable in our with the last slide. You know, you can of course block out all of the time for whatever content that you have planned, but being adaptable allows you to change as you you know, take a beat with your audience and figure out what the pulse is with what they're wanting and different things like that. But a content calendar also helps you align with your business goals, and it ensures that your content is relevant and that your messaging is consistent across the board. You could also tailor your content strategies for different target audiences, which is really great. So you might, as you're planning things for the new year, realize like, okay, my YouTube audience wants something different than my TikTok audience and with my Instagram audience. And so it gives you it allows you more time, I would say, to plan those different things so that you can in fact you know, maximize that engagement, because that engagement is going to funnel people throughout your business and into those paid offerings that you have, so you can make more money, of course. You can also define key performance indicators and metrics or analytics to measure the success of the content and your business strategies. And finally, you can establish a feedback loop, whether that's with your audience members, whether that is with folks within the Business and Travel Club, mentors, whomever is, you know, helping you kind of get a pulse as to what your content is doing with on the internet in the world. And that will help you continuously assess and adjust your strategies based on your audience responses and market changes. So what I'll say, all in all, goal setting, and the way that I see it is goal setting should help you have more time and give you more room to breathe. The way that I think about it, I'm the type of person, I feel like that is always working up until the last minute, if that makes sense. Like a video is due tomorrow and I'm still like working right up until the hour that I have to publish it. And I don't want to be so frantic within my business in 2024. And so one of my goals is to be really strategic in how I plan out the different tasks that I have, all the big ideas that I have, so that I can achieve as many as I can without being stressed. And so we don't want to feel rushed. We want to, again, have that room to breathe. And so, yeah, being strategic about the planning for your business in 2024 is going to be key. So that is what I have to say. Thank you so much, Sinead, for letting me share.
Thank you, Jazz. That was very helpful. And I like that you mentioned at the end is working up to the last hour, because I do find myself doing that as well. And even if it's planned out months in advance, it's like I'm still working up to that last hour. And what made me think about it is, you know, I think for me, I work under pressure. It's like I put myself under this pressure that I don't need to. And so that's what ends up happening, even with the intention to be like, I'm planning this out ahead. I'm going to get ahead of the curve. It's like my creative juices for it don't click in until it's like, oh, deadline approaching. Okay.
The
So
same.
right. And so it's something that I want to get better at. And I do like that you mentioned that planning process and really being more strategic about having smart goals, things that you can measure. And that's really what the Business and Travel Accountability Club is about. It's about helping us to to look at our work weekly and say, here is what I want to do weekly, because I have a goal for the year, but every day, every week, we have to be making these taking these steps in order to get us closer to that larger goal.
Very true.
With that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about business and travel, and then we're going to get the exercise going. So get your notebooks out, pencils, pens ready, however you prefer to do it, but we're going to get to work. Okay.
Yes.
So Business and Travel is a travel content marketing agency that specializes in partnerships between brands and creators while coaching creators to develop sustainable businesses. Our mission is to craft captivating media that invigorates the local tourism economy. And so I'm giving you a preview of Business and Travel because it's going to be important for you as the creator, as the business, to think about what is your mission. Your goals should be based on the mission of your business. So that's going to really help you as the first step to say, okay, what is my mission? What is it that I am overall trying to do within my brand as a creator, as a business? So the mission for Business and Travel is to craft captivating media that invigorates the local tourism economy, right? So that lets us know right there that our mission is to create media for the tourism economy. Okay, so when we think about our goals, we want to know, okay, what is the mission of your business? What is the mission of your brand, right? So we've established that. You have that in mind. Now that you know what your mission is, take your business and break it up into the parts that make up your business, right? So in this section, we're calling that verticals. What parts of your business make it up as a whole? Business and Travel, as an example, as you saw in the mission, one part of Business and Travel is coaching travel and lifestyle content creators. The second part is travel marketing for tourism businesses. And then the third part is me, Shanae Braxton, as my personal brand, and me as a content creator. So those are the three parts of Business and Travel. Jazz, do you want to share from your perspective as a Jazzy Nation, what would be three verticals with it, or not even three, however many you have within the Jazzy Nation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I have quite a few, and I don't know if that's actually too many. I think I like that you've condensed like your ideas or your verticals into these three, because I feel like it makes it really organized. I guess I also have a vertical for myself as Jasmine. I guess I have a content creating vertical as well. So content creating, which includes travel marketing as well. Travel marketing for my own brand and also travel marketing for other brands as well. And then I do have a coaching section as well for travel, and then for expats wanting to move abroad, or future expats wanting to move abroad. And so, yeah, I would be interested to see how, with what I just mentioned, how all of the big ideas I mentioned fit within the verticals, because I do feel like they're just like all over the place right now and they don't have a home. But condensing them kind of like that actually really helps, I think. And I think that's going to help me just like, write down goals I didn't even know existed or will exist, because I think my wheels are starting to turn now. So just coming up with the goals that will fit each category will be really cool.
Okay, so this is perfect. So what I would recommend, and I put in the chat the mind map templates, because that's what we're going to be working on. So this is the first part of the mind map, which is great. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Jazz, because mind mapping does not have to be formal. It does not have to be organized. It does not have to have any type of structure to it. Really, all it is just a brain dump. So for you, Jazz, you're actually at the right step in terms of planning this out, because this is the beginning process of the mind map. And we're going to break this down even further as we go through the slides. So what I would like for you to do, and what I normally do is write down my brain dumps, but for this workshop, we're going to look at my brain dump virtually. So it's a little bit more organized here than what it's like behind the scenes on paper.
Okay.
Right. So what I would ask you to do is on your paper, and if you want to use one of the templates that's in the link on the chat, you could take that as well. But I would write down Jasmine, put that in a circle, write down travel marketing for Jasmine, put that in a circle, travel marketing for brands, put that in a circle, coaching for expats, put that in a circle, coaching for aspiring expats, and put that in a circle.
Okay.
Because those essentially are the different parts that make up the Jazzy Nation.
So you recommend splitting up the coaching, since it's two categories for coaching, into two different verticals. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because we haven't really fine-tuned it yet. We're really just getting our thoughts down on paper. And so I think oftentimes, even for me, I get caught up in what I want it to look like at the end, where I just get it out of my brain first, and then I'll have multiple iterations of it as I go through and fine comb it, and really synthesize everything. But first step is brain dump. Just get it all.
All right. I got you.
Right. So, okay. So now that we have yours out and mine is out here, we're going to go into the brain dump. So I've put mine here. And again, mine looks a little bit more organized because it's in presentation style. But what I would do for you, Jazz, is I would say, okay, the Jazzy Nation, I would take that circle, the one that you circled your name around, and just write things that come to mind around that circle.
Okay.
Anything that comes to mind, write it around that circle. For aspiring expats, anything that comes to mind, write it around there. And we'll take about like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
What came up for you, Jazz?
For myself, for my own section, my lifestyle, uh, being a diplomatic spouse, diplo wife, being a mother, being an expat, living abroad, building slash finding a motherhood community abroad, affiliate income. And I actually tied that into my lifestyle. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna talk about my lifestyle, then the affiliate income, because that makes money. Being aspirational, cooking, homemaking, entrepreneurship, being a small business owner, and Black experiences.
Okay, good, good. And you don't have to share the other areas, but does it feel a little bit more clear now that you've separated all five sections?
It does actually. Yeah, I'm excited to take time to really go through the other sections because, yeah, it's a lot clearer.
Yeah, that's good. I'm excited. Even for me, like you can see how I've taken myself as the creator and taken myself out of business and travel because not business and
Hmm.
travel, but the travel marketing for tourism.
Hmm.
I've separated them because for a long time I had them combined as well as me giving the information. And this has helped me think about it like, no, I'm my own entity, and then there's this other side of it to help it be more clear about what my angles are for each of these different sections.
That makes sense.
As
Yes.
you can see here with the coaching for travel and lifestyle content creators, what came up for me was skill building workshops, networking, education, funding opportunities, accountability. And then for me as Shanae Braxton, the personal brand, I am a travel and lifestyle content creator. So you can see the overlap with the coaching content creators because I'm essentially coaching myself too.
Hmm.
The things that I'm known for as a mom in business, traveling with the mom, traveling with the baby, marrying someone from another country, Peace Corps, Morocco, gaining visibility on my YouTube channel, learning SEO, and I'm the founder of Business and Travel. So those are things that came up for me as I was going through the brain dump. And then for the tourism businesses, video marketing, travel destination storytelling, creator economy, email marketing, email strategy, increasing visibility and awareness, video storytelling. And then my brain dump continued, but there it leaned more towards the travel marketing for tourism businesses. So all of my ideas, as you can see, I had a lot more ideas for the travel marketing for tourism businesses. And for a long time, or this last quarter of the year, all of those things seem to overlap in my brain. So it's nice to be like, okay, I can actually segment this over here because it doesn't go along with this. So this has really helped me segment out where my focus is for each vertical within business and travel.
That's great.
Okay, so we're talking about the first quarter of 2024, and we want to focus on, for the sake of time for this workshop today, we're going to pick one vertical from our mind map. And I think, Jazz, it sounds like you picked Jasmine Okocha as that vertical to focus on. And that's really good. I actually did the same thing because again, it's all about overlapping. And sometimes I overlap business and travel, the travel marketing side of it, with Shanae, the personal brand, the traveler, the travel content creator. And so that has not served me over these past couple of years of creating content. And I'm like, you know what? I need to separate the two because they're two different things. And I've been trying to merge them. So 2024 for me is all about that clarity between Shanae, the personal brand, and business and travel, the business brand. So what I would say is pick one vertical from your mind map. And then we're going to work on our 3 goals that are top priorities for 2024. Now, these goals can be 2024 the whole year, or they could be 2024 for between January and April of 2024. It's really up to you. But in terms of our tactics and strategy, we'll focus those tactics and strategies to have that timestamp of January to April. And as you mentioned, Jazz, goals have to have an end date. Goals have to be timed and measurable. So that's what we're going to focus on. What are we going to be doing? What are our activities between January and April of 2024? Okay, so here are some examples of goals, and I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about some of your goals as well. So one of my goals is to exceed 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, Shanae Braxton. Another goal is to increase traffic to my website, businessandtravel.co. And the third goal is to become a thought leader as a travel media and marketing professional. I'll give you a couple minutes to think about what your 3 goals are.
Okay.
What came to mind for you?
Okay, so I went with building a motherhood community for women living abroad. I want to do that by April 2024. I feel like that's doable. And then I want to establish myself as an expert in my niche as the founder of a travel and lifestyle brand by December 2024. So everything that I do, I want to do it with the intention of, I guess, talking about myself with more authority so that people see me with more authority versus I'm, just being a content creator, like for people to know that I am a business entity. My business is a thing and it offers all these different services and projects and things like that too. So, and the last one is to grow my following on all social platforms by 10%. So I'd have to do the math to see what that actually is, but I didn't want to go too high, but I also wanted to say like I do want to grow it and for it to be like a percentage of what I currently have. And I want to do that by April 2024.
That's good. And I was thinking about it. One thing that I didn't that I didn't mention on goal 2 for increasing traffic to my website is the reason why I want to increase traffic is because I want to become a part of affiliate programs. And
Yes.
to do that, I need to have, I want to say 50,000 views to my website.
Okay.
So that is one of the milestones that I want to work on this year as well.
Mm.
And I like how you distinguish between what you want to do in the first quarter versus what you want to accomplish throughout the year, because that's going to help give you clarity in terms of like what you can be doing now in order to prep you for that yearly goal and what you want to achieve within that first quarter that's going to get you closer to that yearly goal.
Thank you.
Also, I really like that you're going to do a mom's group abroad. I think that is like perfectly aligned with you as the person, the personal brand of Jazzy Nation. It really perfectly aligns. And there's so many moms that live outside of the US that are American, that are not American. And it's going to be a really great fit in terms of community building. So that's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the way that I want to go into the new year is I want to be of service to people, but also look at like, okay, what are things that I've needed maybe within the last year, a couple of years that I can provide to other women or other people with other initiatives that I want to start because yeah, I'm not the only one in the situations that I've found myself in too. So
Exactly. And I think you've transitioned with your lifestyle, and that's really what it's all about. Creator is what fits within your lifestyle today is going to be different from what fits into your lifestyle tomorrow or next week, because at one point you were a solo traveler, or you were a wife and a diplo wife. Now you're a diplo wife and a diplo mom. So
exactly. So cute.
Right. So you've evolved. And so it's really good to have these conversations quarterly, yearly, because as we evolve and as we build our personal brands, they will evolve with us.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All righty. Now we're going into strategy. So strategy is going to be that high level, right up underneath the goal is going to be that high level of what path are you going to take in order to accomplish that goal. And so you can see here that I've broken mine down into 3 different sections. The first is the visibility strategy. So if we go back to my goal is to have 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers, that traffic, that increased traffic. So that's all about visibility. That's my strategy. I need to be more visible online. And with visibility, we're going to go into some tactics in order for me to reach that visibility, because visibility is not just being everywhere all the time. You can post every single day to YouTube. You can post every single day to Instagram, but does that mean you're going to have visibility? No. Even for myself, a couple of years ago, I did a 60-day Instagram challenge where I posted to Instagram every single day. And that grew my channel, grew my Instagram page by maybe 100 more followers. So visibility is more than just the posting, it's the thought process behind it. So that's one of the things that I really want to work on this first quarter of the year. And then consistency. Consistency for me is not, I'm going to post a video every week. Now that used to be my consistency strategy, but because I'm a mom, I don't know when I will be able to post a video or if it's going to be every week, but my consistency looks a little bit different, which I'm going to share it in the upcoming tactics. It's still consistency, but it's just going to look a little bit different for me. And yours is going to vary as well, just depending on what you have going on. The next strategy is quality. One of the things that I really, really want to work on is the quality of content that I'm putting out. And for me, quality aligns with that thought leadership. If I am putting out quality, if I'm sharing quality, if my content is produced in a way that is very high quality, then that's going to help with that thought leadership. That's going to help build up my level of awareness in the industry as a media marketing professional. Jazz, do you want to take some time to think about some strategies? I did share in the chat, Asana posted some examples of strategies. So I would recommend taking a look at that list and seeing what comes to mind for you in terms of some strategies that are important to you based on the different goals that you set.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I really like what you wrote here. And I'm like, oh, all of that sounds like what I need to do to achieve my goals too. But I will try to think of some different ones as well, because yeah, I feel like I could be a little bit more specific with what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah. And again, it overlaps, but that's why we're going to go into those tactics, or we're going to break it down to be a little bit more specific. So I'll give you what, like 2-3 minutes. What do you think? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So what came to mind for you?
Okay. So I talked about consistency as well. And for me, consistency means showing up, like having that schedule, and then having the quality of content be consistent, if that makes sense. So that you know what to expect when you come to my channel, or you know what to expect when you land on my page, so that everything is very cohesive and it makes sense. And then the second one is a strategy to make my content more community focused and collaborative. So not everything, but just to like really try to figure out how to incorporate that, especially for that motherhood community. So is that starting a new page or starting a new like branch of my business? Or is that including this type of content with my personal brand? I'm not sure yet, but the third one, I want to have an authoritative strategy, if that even makes sense. But that just means being confident and knowledgeable in what I'm doing and sharing so that I can become that authority in my niche. And I think in doing that too, people will like that hopefully will bring in more customers, because I think that that is what I've been lacking, is like that confidence to say I offer this and I am an expert in this area, versus like passively offering something and hoping that people will find it. So just being more confident in that too.
Yeah. What came to mind for me is when I mentioned consistency, I'm like, you know what? My consistency challenge for January to April 2024 is putting my son on a schedule. Because if I can put him on a schedule, that's going to help me with my personal brand and my business. And I'm like, wait a minute, that is my consistency strategy. I didn't put that here, but that is 2024. He needs to be on a schedule because right now he has zero scheduling.
Okay, see, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that's what came up for me.
Mhm.
So that's what we're going to be working towards.
I like that. So it's like within your personal life, how does your personal life affect your business? And so, yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. So we're working on that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so let's go over into the tactics now. So when looking at visibility as a strategy, we're going to look at the different tactics. And you'll see as we go through each of the tactics. So we have a visibility strategy, consistency strategy, quality strategy. Within the tactics, all of them are embedded within each tactic that I've created. And you can break yours down even further. And again, just for the sake of time, this is a very high level breakdown of some tactics. So for visibility, my tactic is to study SEO for at least 5 hours a week and then apply it to my YouTube channel and my website. And then I want to study Final Cut Pro at least 5 hours a week. There's a course that I'm going to be taking, and then I'm going to apply those new skills to my video editing process. And then lastly, for thought leadership, because thought leadership was one of my goals, thought leadership is to read at least 1 hour a day about travel marketing and then use it as inspiration for captions and videos. So those are some of my strategies when it comes to visibility, is that education. So I'm taking the education and then applying it so that I can get be more visible. For the Final Cut Pro, the video editing, that's all about engagement. How can I create more engaging short and long form videos? So that's where the course is going to come into play. SEO is organic search. So that's how can I get people to find me based on what they're typing in versus what I'm thinking people are typing in. That's going to really help. And then visibility reading is going to let me know what is the latest trend, what are people talking about, what's in the news when it comes to travel marketing, so that I can understand it and I can have more knowledge on it.
I like that a lot. You are going to be doing a lot of learning. And I like the reading one as well. I think that one would apply to my third point, just reading and studying in general about life abroad and about travel, because I feel like just continuing to learn is going to help me establish myself as that expert as well. So that's so good.
Yeah, I've personally found that it's really been the backbone that has helped me to keep going and to build that confidence, because that's one of the things that I talk about with my business coach is the confidence. And reading and learning and writing, that is going to help build the confidence that we feel like we lack.
That's true. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So did you want to take some time to think about topics? I know you mentioned one of them is reading.
Yes, I can just go through what I have. So For me, being consistent and showing up, so showing up with quality content, for me, I am finding that actually having the times in my schedule and like building out my schedule with the types of content, like the content calendar, for example, helps. So my goal actually it's pared down too because I found that I have so many things that I want to do that it becomes overwhelming and then I don't do anything. So I used to have a goal of 2 YouTube videos a week, and now it's just one per week. So one YouTube video per week, one newsletter per week, and then 3 times on Instagram, and then reposting that content on all the other short form platforms as well. So that's that consistency piece. And then for the motherhood group, I need to find a platform for that first. Like, where do I want to host this group? And probably like build out that mission and just like really like, I'm starting from scratch. So like build out what it needs to look like and then actually start the group. So because I gave myself a pretty short deadline, so that means I need to like get moving on this particular goal. And so, yeah, I think that'll be good. And then that last one for the authority strategy, like you said, it's learning and reading. I want to learn and read more about the travel industry, about life abroad, and then kind of just like figure out what challenges people are having within these different topics so that I can better serve my community, better serve my customers, in that way.
I like that. One thing that came to mind for me, which may help you, is looking into different groups and seeing what challenges people are saying, because that may help give you direction on what to read about, what to research. Because there's a lot of mom groups on Facebook, so I'm sure you're a part of them. There are a lot of expat family groups, so maybe looking at some of their comments and then digging a little further.
That sounds good.
Okay, so for the consistency strategy, as you can see, it overlaps with the visibility strategy. So in terms of, I'm saying 5 hours a week. So that way, in my mind, every week, I know that when I start my days on Monday, I'm at least saying, okay, 5 hours this week, I need to read about SEO. I need to be learning. I can break that down even further and say at least 1 hour a day.
Okay.
Exactly what I'm going to do, because that's how my brain works. I time block it. It's not going to be at 12 o'clock every day, but at least 1 hour a day, because my brain doesn't function by the time, it just functions by at least today. So that's how I'm going to be breaking it down in terms of consistency, is at least 5 hours a week I'm going to be learning SEO, and then at least 5 hours a week I'm going to study the Final Cut Pro course. And again, that's 1 hour a day. Now, mind you, we have 8 hours a day that we work. As a business owner, my 8 hours are spread out throughout the day because I'm a business owner and a mom, which, as you saw, is a part of one of my verticals. So it's not going to look like the same thing every day, but having the total number of what I want to accomplish each week helps me to say, okay, here's what I need to break down day by day. And then my third tactic is to read at least 1 hour a day about travel marketing. And this one is fairly simple because you can just pick one article a day. Normally, articles aren't as long, they're like maybe 2 to 3 pages. So you can pick an article a day, or I'll pick an article a day and I will read about it. What about you, Jazz?
Okay, so for me, like I mentioned, I have the time frame for each piece of content that I want to produce. And it feels like a lot just because like each piece of content, has its own task list. So if I want to put out one YouTube video a week, that means I need to film it and then edit it. So it's just like putting all of those elements into my weekly schedule as well. But for the other ones, I didn't really have specific time goals for them. So I just thought of like for the motherhood group, I want to work on it at least 2 hours a week. Um, and I think that'll give me a good amount of time, like with everything else I'm doing, give me a good amount of time to like get it started and like get those smaller beginning tasks finished. And then I think as I grow it, I can see how much more time I need for that. So 2 hours a week for that second one. And then I want to say 2 to 3 hours per week for the learning and reading about my industry. I like podcasts. So I feel like in a lot of ways it's like that passive learning. Was I telling you this? I'll send it to you. I just listened to this podcast. It was an NPR podcast about ethical travel, and it was so good. But I learned a lot. It was like during a walk while I'm walking with my baby. So it's like doing that kind of stuff. I'm not necessarily counting that in the 2 to 3 hours. I could, but I want to also have that like intentional, like sit down, like reading and taking notes time too. So that's why it's just 2 to 3 hours per week, because I feel like all the extra passive learning that I'm doing also will help make up some of the extra time too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What comes to mind for me is the compound effect. For me, breaking it down by the hour is less daunting than saying I want to learn SEO. Because if I say I want to learn SEO, then I can be putting myself up to as for an expectation to be like, I need to learn it in a week. And it's like, maybe that is not realistic because other priorities may trump studying, for example. So if for me, it has always worked to say, okay, I'm going to at least give myself 1 hour in this day to do it. 5 hours in the week to do it, because it may be 2-3 hours in one day and maybe 2 hours in a different day. But setting those hours makes it more manageable, which goes back to your SMART goals, making it manageable in time, having a time to it.
Exactly. Yes.
So then when it comes to tactic, in terms of quality, because quality was one of my strategies. So in terms of quality, we're looking at those same 3 strategies, just breaking it down from different lenses. So in terms of the quality, one of my qualities for the studying SEO is to actually apply it. And you can see that I put the same thing for Final Cut Pro. So the important part of the learning is that you're learning, but you're applying what you learn. And that's something that I am confident will help me with quality. Because as I'm learning SEO, I'm automatically saying, okay, I've just learned this new skill. I just read about this new thing or this old thing that I've constantly been reading about, and I'm applying it to what I am doing. In that way, I can measure, is this working or is this not working? So that's where the quality is going to come into play, is not only am I taking time to study it, but I'm also taking time to apply it. So for tactics 1 and 2, the studying part is to apply it. And then for tactic 3, using it as inspiration for captions and videos. One of the reasons why I love reading is because it gives me inspiration. So if I'm stuck in a creative rut, I'll always revert back to I need to read something or I'll need to write something, because those are the 2 basic tasks that help me to find inspiration and to just brain dump everything that's coming up for me and then organizing it in a way that I can present it to others. So for me, these are going to be my quality strategies that I'm going to focus on, is the learning and applying what I'm learning.
That sounds good. Yeah, I think if I were to even think about it in terms of mine, I think it's just the execution. And I think that's where my goals in the past always fail, because one, I think I'm very ambitious, so sometimes my goals are too big, not gonna lie, and then I get really overwhelmed and then I don't actually execute. And so I like that you have here like apply and use it. Like we're actually going to not just like set the goals and study or learn, we're actually going to then follow through and use it. So I think that's something that I need to take into what I wrote down here, because it's really nice to just like write your notes down and make it cute and stuff, but it's like, okay, so now what are you going to do with what you wrote down?
when I did the 60-day Instagram challenge, what I would do is every single night I would read one article. And then after I read the article, I would have inspiration and I would write something. And that is what helped me to stay consistent with that challenge, is because I already had the pictures, the content part, we always have that part, but it's a matter of what goes with this, what feels right with this piece of content for me. And so that reading every night, and then after I read, I would write the caption out, just because it's already fresh. So that way, even if I don't use that caption for that next day, I already have it in my bank of captions. And so that's one of the things that really helps to build that consistency, and it also helps with the quality, because it then you're getting credible sources of information that you can then pull and share with others. So that is all. I really enjoyed this workshop. I think it was extremely helpful for me to really clearly think about what is it that I need to do within my personal brand in order to help me grow, not just me as the personal brand, but also the business as well. So Jazzy, what are your thoughts on today's workshop?
Oh, this was great. Thank you so much for hosting it and allowing me to co-host as well. I feel really excited to go through the other areas of my business and who I am, because I just really want to get organized so I can step into 2024 and get to work. I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to accomplish these goals. So this was so good. Thank you.
Good, good. I'm so happy to hear that. And I hope that you all enjoyed today's workshop and can apply what we discussed and what we shared with you to your personal brand, to your business as creators. So, Jazzy, you have any final words to share before we close?
No, just good luck with your goal setting for the new year. And if you have any questions about anything, just reach out to one of us. And or if you just want to, continue to go through this, like I said, I have more to do. So if you just want to do it with somebody, let me know, because that's the plan for the next couple of days. So but no, this was so good, and I just appreciate this time, and I look forward to doing more of this with you in the future.
Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.